Hey, B Kong, what's up, brother?
It's late for you, bruh.
Yeah, I was like just shutting it down, getting ready to go to bed, and this popped up on the screen, and I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna talk about it.
There's only
Not
a few
gonna talk
things
about
that
it."
makes Michael B pop up in the middle of the night, so
Yeah,
nothing
this
like
is one
Arcade
of
One
them.
Up news.
So, cat's out of the bag on the
Mhm.
Atari 50. I'm gonna be honest. I actually saw this earlier this week, and when I first saw it, I think my first reaction was, what the hell is this? And I will preface that by saying I understand Atari is a huge, huge brand, and there's people that collect everything for it. So I do think there's going to be a market for it, but I don't know how I feel about it. Does that make sense, B?
Yeah, you are one for enjoying the nostalgic recreations of your youth, and this falls outside of the box. This is Michael
Way
B's
outside of the
nostalgic
box.
bubble, and here, way out here, out of frame, anything that falls outside of your box,
Yeah.
yeah, it gets you irked, man. I can tell.
Yeah, well, it doesn't really get me irked, but it's definitely not in the realm of what I would expect. So I'm going to bring up the site there now. For
Yeah.
anybody who hasn't seen it yet, Wayfair.com. Wayfair's just got what, well, I said the saying wrong. Wayfair's got just what you need. And tonight, what we needed was Arcade1Up leaks. So they have announced the Arcade1Up Deluxe Atari 50. A lot of us were wondering where was the Atari cab that was going to be coming out this year. We always get a
Mhm.
legacy cab. Last
Yep.
couple of years, we've been eating well in terms of the cabinets they've used. They've been beautiful. Tempest, gorgeous.
Yes.
Centipede, crap
Yes.
screen, but still gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then they decided to do this.
What? What? You've never seen an Atari 50th golden cabinet out there?
I most certainly have not. Really quickly, we got a super chat here from Console Fanboy. Just curious, do you know if there's a 5-year-old or 6-year-old design this cab? Also, could use a few more 50s. This comedy stuff writes itself. Zohar, you are on the money on that one. Thank you so much for the super chat, brother. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like for me, when it comes to Arcade One Up, I really appreciate the fact when they really go out of their way to try to recreate a arcade authentic cab. A lot of times I'll get, perturbed when they come out with the branding stuff, but I understand it. Like, they're going to work with different brands. They're going to do cool stuff to try to, move their brand out. But, I don't get it with this one. This seems more and more further away from trying to, recreate an arcade experience and just functional furniture. Put something out there they think looks cool that has a brand that might sell. And I think a lot of people are disappointed. We were wondering what the, classic Atari cab they were going to remake this year for the deluxe cab was going to be. There was rumors of Missile Command. A lot of people were saying go back and do Asteroids. Maybe they do something really wacky like
Mm.
Crystal Castles. But nope, we're getting Atari 50. Now I've got it just on the box, and I want to go back to the box. But let me just move it over here. So here's the cabinet itself, and
Wow.
yeah, that's a lot to take in.
That's $200 and 50s on the screen right there. That's 450s.
Four
Um, I
fifties.
was trying to look and see if that design matched anything out there, and there was an Atari 50th game collection that came out late last year that had kind of that gold theme in terms of the logo and the art.
Yeah.
Hello, Mrs. Congress. Where
Are you live streaming during bedtime? Michael B, what are you
I'm
doing up?
sorry. I'm sorry. We had some breaking news, and you know the
great
way us
leaked
Arcade One Up
breaking
shills are.
news.
You not?
We had to get it out there.
Yes,
We should just go to bed
we should be going to bed soon.
No.
But
with this arcade cabinet.
yeah. Thank you. Um, yeah, the artwork again doesn't match anything except for the artwork of that game design. Have you looked at and seen that collection?
No.
It's like this golden Atari logo theme, and it came with like 100 games and was available on the modern platforms. So maybe that's what they were trying to recreate, was just that theme from the actual collection, which this is not the full collection of Atari 50th games that had. This is still what, 14 games on there?
Yeah, so we'll get into that in just a second. So I will say again, for me personally, this is not what I want Arcade One Up to produce.
Mhm.
I'm disappointed that it's not a classic arcade recreation. But at the same time, I do understand there's people that are going to love this, absolutely love it, because they love everything with that Atari logo on it. So yeah, moving on to the pictures. I got to remember which screen I'm on. There's another couple looks.
Yep.
But I wanted to get to the games list because I think this will be interesting. Here on the
control panel is really interesting.
We're getting volcano buttons, trackball, no spinner this time, or yes, it is. It's right there.
There's a spinner, yeah.
And a joystick, interestingly enough.
And another hidden 50th logo on there. That's 5 50 logos on there.
Oh, don't you worry. There's so many 50s.
The cab shape itself, does that resonate in terms of the cab shape design? Have we seen that form factor at all, just in terms of the shape of the cabinet?
I have no idea.
It almost looks like, like a Neo Geo type of design. Like if you go back to the form factor of it, it's like that bar type. So I don't know if the form factor makes any nostalgic Atari reference either.
This is exactly for people who want something just for the Atari logo. Like if I'm going to do an Atari 50th, I'm going to go to one of their classic machines, like their first machine, like like old Pong machine or something like that. Like to me, that would be more reminiscent, but I'm guessing the partner Atari wanted to do this. Anyways, very quickly, let's get into the games list. So there's 14 arcade games: Centipede, Tempest, Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, Millipede, Crystal Castle, Space Duel, Major Havoc, Missile Command, Gravitar. Oh, I can't read that, but that's that unfinished arcade game. Liberator, Super Breakout, and Lunar Lander. So great games list. I'm not going to say anything bad about the games list there. And the cool thing is, this is the first time that in a long time, Arcade1Up is releasing an Atari cab that nobody can complain about it not having the right screen, because this is a made-up cab. It's a mystical create your own cab. So nobody can say, oh, well, it doesn't have the right screen. Here with a horizontal screen, it doesn't matter. So there you go.
So it looks like it's the exact same games list as the last two legacies, but why the joystick?
Centipede.
Centipede?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Centipede, right?
So the joystick is not because of any of the games that are there. The joystick is because this doesn't just come with 14 games. It comes with 14 games, arcade games that are leaderboard games, but it also comes with an additional 40 Atari 2600 games that you can also play on the cabinet.
Oh, interesting. I didn't see that part. Okay, that's
can you imagine if Nostalgia was here right now talking about the value of this cabinet? Not one game, not two games,
29,
but 54 games.
Yeah. Okay, so there is extra value in here. So yeah, it's more than just your arcade console. It's the console version of some Atari stuff. So I do like that feature as an upgrade, honestly.
So I have the Arcade1Up Atari giant joystick. So I'll probably be doing a stream of that relatively soon and playing some Atari games on it. But I do want to say it would be incredibly hypocritical of me not to crap on them putting 2600 games on an arcade, because every time that iArcade released a ColecoVision game, I was like, what the fuck is this? So I can't turn around and say like, oh, wow, 2600 games.
That's what Video Game Vegas is saying. That changes the game. 2600 games, not 1, not 2, not 5, 40. But 40. That's, I mean, it is a multi-cade that I think will reach out to some of those folks. And I've played Raspberry Pis that have tons of console games on it, and so some of those I don't see a problem with adding that if they're going to go this route. And I'm glad they did something like that to make this a little bit more enticing beyond just your typical arcade cabinet. So that I actually do like that feature.
Really quickly, we've got a super chat coming in live
from
the Southern Fried Gaming Expo, where Stringer Films currently is, or maybe home from now. Venom Premium is badass. So on Super Game Room Dudes earlier today, I talked about this. A lot of people were saying, oh, Venom's not good. All of a sudden, the mood has changed on Venom. A lot of that's due to the price increases with Stern and people refusing to buy it. But most of the people that have actually played Venom really like it. But again, it comes down to the prices, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one for me to play on location than to own. I mean, owning and buying is different than playing it on location. So nobody's saying it's like a terrible game. I just think the market to buy pins, there is just a lot of good games that came out recently. So it's tough.
And a lot more coming out too. So really quickly, Constorm Entertainment, just an update on this, guys. Even though this is live on the site, I don't think this is supposed to be live right now. So
Yeah.
this is not actually going to be available until September. So keep that in mind.
I do have just some thoughts about why we're getting these leaks through retailer websites instead of Arcade1Up going back to their marketing plan of actually being the ones to release all their stuff. It is a little bit frustrating that stuff like this is coming out and this might get taken down tomorrow. But they should know by now, right? They should really have ahead of the game of really using their platform to announce stuff like this than having it come out. So I think this is just another kind of weird launch of a title that nobody was expecting and is a little bit awkward.
Yeah, Patrick has a theory that they intentionally leak this from the distributors, that Arcade1Up has a secret button that they can just make a post go live to create FOMO. I don't think that's true, because I don't think they want this stuff to happen.
That would take too much effort to plan it that way versus what's really happening.
Yeah. This is just a retailer mistake, always.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, B. I've got to be honest with you. I'm going to go back and look at the description and stuff here now. But I mean, this is not a product for me. This is not what I want Arcade1Up to be. But it probably has some benefits for the people that want something that's going to have a bunch of Atari 2600 games. We got to see if we got a list here. It would be amazing. We know the arcade games, but I don't know if we know the Atari 2600 classics. I would imagine that most of them are the same that were on the Atari Giant Joystick, so I'm going to have to look into that. But here's the description, guys. Immerse yourself in the world of classic gaming with this feature-packed cabinet. Experience the nostalgia on the 17-inch BOE screen, and I do want to give Arcade1Up credit. That was something I busted into their heads when those TN cabinets came out, TN monitor cabinets. I said, just say BOE in the product description. Just tell us what screen it is. So I'm glad they're doing that this year. As you dive into the iconic games, with built-in Wi-Fi, you can connect, compete, share your high scores with gamers worldwide. Create an authentic atmosphere with this cabinet that's not authentic, with the captivating light-up marquee and buttons. The faux light-up molded coin door adds a vintage touch, while the cap covers and speaker grills complete the retro aesthetic of a cab that never came out in the arcades. The included certificate of authenticity guarantees the genuine heritage. Step into gaming history and rediscover the joy of retro gaming in your own home with a cabinet that was never released in the arcades. I'm going to stick on that one. Online leaderboards, upgraded joysticks, and light-up buttons, sleek cabinet design, light-up marquee, 3D molded light-up coin doors. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool feature. So it's got light-up buttons, and the molded coin doors also have light-up buttons. Yeah, everything else is pretty much the same. B, you got something here?
Well, look at the shape of the cabinet. What do you think?
There it is. Asteroids.
Yeah. So now that I look at it, this is the New Wave shop. It is an asteroids shaped cabinet. So what if this is just a special edition for the collaboration, but the true one will be a reskin asteroid? So, I mean,
I hope that's true.
No?
You
might be jumping the gun here, right? Look at this. So you can go back to the other one for yours. I think this is it, right? So I think somebody was saying this would be a good asteroids reskin. That's absolutely the shape of an asteroids cabinet. So maybe we'll see multiple versions of this. And this is just for the Atari collab that they want to do. And then we can get an asteroid. So would you be happy if they turn this into an asteroids cabinet? Would you be in on this if it was skinned that way?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to be in on anything because nothing's coming here to Canada.
Besides that, it's a deluxe form factor, but I do like the asteroids artwork in that shape of the cabin. I was wondering, kind of looks familiar, and that would be going back. And they've already spent the time with the control panel with the joystick. Yeah. That would be weird for them to take it out if they're going to keep that in. So I think it's a great. We've been looking for their deluxe lines and legacy things to kind of be upgraded each year a little bit, and this is just that extra added thing. So I like it. I dig it. I don't even know if that triangle thing is a asteroids control panel layout, but that would be cool.
No,
it's not. Okay,
it might be. I'd have to go back and look. Let's bring up your thing. Is there any shots of the controller on?
It is. It's hard to tell, but yeah, no, it's a different layout. Yeah. So it's not the asteroids control panel, but it has volcano buttons. It has kind of a something layout that you can use, but that would be cool to have that checkered pattern layout, and we get asteroids.
So we got another super chat here from Console Fanboy, who you spent a day at Disneyland with recently, didn't you?
We had fun.
Yeah. So Super Chat $4.99. Don't worry, Corner Cabe will get it and review it for us. I'll get it too, but I'll be smashing it with a bat 50 times. Thanks so hard for the Super Chat. Nope, not interested, especially when I have my Atari 12-in-1 cab. I'm going to put a poll up in the chat really quickly, and I want you guys to tell me, is this a cab you're interested in?
Yes,
keep everybody entertained.
So $499. I'm hoping that this is just the start of this, but based off of everything that we saw, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually saw an asteroids theme. So it does cover the Atari hardcores, and I'm hoping maybe this is more limited and not the main one that's available out there. And then we'll get retailers picking up asteroids.
Yeah, I want to go back to the first picture because there's something else here. I did a show there a little while ago saying, what's next out of the vault? And I think we have our answer. This is actually a vault cab.
Ooh.
Vault Special Edition.
The Vault. Vault Special Edition. The Vault.
So
NBA Jam was the Vault, right?
NBA Jam was the first vault cab. This is the second vault cab, Atari 50. I know this doesn't matter because everybody gets them and just throws them out, but I think the box actually looks really cool. I think the box is really cool looking.
Yeah, so more 50s on there. It's just,
needs more 50s. Yeah.
50. Yeah, that's good.
Don't worry, Jelly Green says pull up there if you do it with an asteroids. If you do it with an asteroid skin, yes, I think more people would do it with an asteroid skin. It'll be interesting to see if this is the only Atari cab coming out this year, or if they do it with an asteroids. That was a really good catch by you because I think, this probably at one point was an asteroids and it got turned.
It's gonna be an asteroids cab. They're definitely gonna put it back. I mean, look at why would they make it that shape if they're just gonna make it a generic one? It absolutely matches the exact shape of the Atari cabinet, or the asteroids cabinet. So
all right, if they turn this into an asteroids cabinet, I'll buy you a Coke. Oh no, let me rephrase that. If they turn this into an asteroids cabinet, I'll buy you some Coke when we're in Cleveland.
There you go. Yeah, well, let us know in the chat what you guys think about this. Would you wait for it? What's the poll at? I might actually go vote and see.
Yeah, let's take a look at right now with 53 votes. We're at a 77% no for the audience. So it looks like from the audience, more the hardcore Arcade1Up fans that kind of watch this stuff, they kind of feel the same way I do. They would rather see this cab as asteroids or, another game from the Atari arcade lineup.
I'm surprised that 116 people are watching this late at night, but I mean, people love the leaks. They like to see it.
This is my favorite comment so far. I think this is the first time I would have rather seen another Pac-Man.
Don't fret, people. That dartboard in the background is going to be the next Arcade1Up product to come out, and you will get a dartboard in addition to your Atari 50th.
Yeah. So Ballistic Coffee Boy says, love it. I'll grab one for sure. And that's what I'm saying. Like, huge Atari fans.
Yeah.
The people that just love that logo, have all that stuff, maybe they'll fall in love with this stuff. I don't know. But I'm going to be honest with you. I've said this a couple times. I've been very concerned about Arcade1Up taking some liberties with the artwork recently. Like, I don't mind the collab cabs, and if this is not a collab cab though, I guess it is, but it isn't. Like, it's being announced as a vault, and it kind of seems like it's not being announced as anything. It's a leak right now. But if this isn't a collab cab and this is just a straightforward out of the vault cab, like it appears to be, this is another example of Arcade1Up really going into more of a creative arts with their product instead of, trying to recreate a classic arcade. And that's something I've been concerned about. Like with Marvel versus Capcom 2, I understand it. There was no side art, so they did something creative. But with NFL Blitz, there was no reason for it. They just changed the art for the sake of it. So it was something I've been worried about, that someone in that company is like, the original art doesn't look very good. I think we should just do our own thing. So do you think that's a possibility? We could see more of this type of cab come out that's just cool looking functional furniture. You said it yourself about the Kith cab. It's really cool looking. Do you think they'll go in that direction instead of sticking to fix?
when they're talking about just market reach, right? It's now the nostalgic folks, I feel like, have gotten the bug, and they've started to attract those folks. And anybody who has been nostalgic has seen either Arcade1Up products or the real stuff, and they would have gotten it. So in terms of their mass appeal now, it's really looking at, is this going to look good in my house in general? Am I going to get to the designer folks that really like this look? I saw freaking one of the Kardashian folks have it as
With
a
the Miss
gift
Pac-Man
for
wood grain,
right?
yeah.
Exactly. And it was just like, it's just getting more mainstream to have it really as a nice looking furniture piece. I kind of get it in that sense for why they would go that way. But yeah, the nostalgic folks, sorry, it's just you might see more of these collabs because they look nice, but they just might not be nostalgic for people.
Well, that's what I'm really interested. When this officially gets announced, that's what I want to know. Is this a collab, or is this a straightforward release from them?
Yeah, I'm hoping it's one of their collabs. It's not one of their main products. So I mean, it's kind of niche to have it, and again, their model for doing a cab that doesn't have that artwork, it's normally announced as a collab. And they recently just announced the Atari website collaboration, where the 2 different cabs are available on that was on the official Arcade1Up announcement today. It's like, hey, we're finally collaborating with Atari.com. Maybe this will also become an Atari.com, an exclusive through that. Well, obviously not, because it's on Wayfair. But yeah, I'm hoping that this is more of a collab with that than anything.
Me too. If this is a collab, and for Arcade1Up fans that are waiting for, more classic arcade recreations, hopefully they do a version of this that is Asteroids. I think people will be a lot happier. I mean, we haven't seen Asteroids since Wave 1. If you're going to take something out of the fucking vault, I mean, Asteroids was the one to take out of the vault.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're going to see. I really have not heard anything about, but I assume that they could really only go that way. It's a deluxe, not an XL.
Yeah, this is a deluxe from the vault. From the vault.
You know, the other thing I've complained about, or just have noticed about these new deluxe cabinets that have the coin doors on them, I don't know if you noticed, but the location of the coin doors are now like centered in the middle, but they realistically are like way too low for any real coin door. They should be higher on the on that place and move down. Like, I'm looking at my Ms. Pac-Man, the class of 81, and it's so low. It's like where my knees are. It's kind of a weird placement. They're putting the coin doors on the deluxe. All of them are very low from what I've seen.
Is that a engineering design thing because of the
crossbar
boards?
Support?
The crossbar
it
boards
could be.
Yeah,
it might be. But yeah, from a look standpoint, it looks a little bit off. I've just noticed that, and maybe it's
100%
feedback
agree.
people can complain about.
So I did want to bring this up. Charlie Chuck says they can order some Asteroids art. Only way to sell them. So the funny thing was, I don't know if you saw. Video Game Vegas is asking me a good question. I got to remember to go back to that. But I don't know if you saw earlier, Numbskull showed off their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle cabs, and they said art by Escape Pod.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, what? Escape Pod did your art? You didn't do your own art? So yeah, this might be one where maybe they sell this cab and they give you like a 10% coupon code to Escape Pod. Maybe you can use the coupon code PDubs to get your Asteroids art for it.
Slap it on yourself. Do the iArcade model. So this is just the base model, people.
Yeah, this is the base model. You got to put your Double Dragon stuff on yourself. If the Atari 2600 version of Double Dragon's on this, that game is terrible. Terrible. Video Game Vegas says, Michael B. the Game Genie, would this Atari 50 interest you if it was XL? No, sir. There is no size that would overcome my detest for the look of this cabinet.
But if it was an Asteroids and an XL cabinet.
Oh, big time. I love those Atari games. I hate that, obviously Tempest wasn't the right screen shape. And I've talked to John D about it a million times, and I understand where he's coming from. It's one of the complexities of them and the way they do business, because here's the deal. There's 14 games on this cabinet. Only 4 of them are, basically vertical games. So what do? Yeah, you do the law of averages, and you're going to accommodate the 10 games that are horizontal screen, but it just sucks for the vertical games, right? But that's the problem with doing one of these multicades. There's sacrifices that have to be made, especially with the controller layout, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that controller layout is true like multicade with the stick, the spinner, and like it's getting a little crowded in terms of how you would play it. And there is no like what's the main game you're trying to replicate in this sense, right? This is just truly like here's some buttons to play with the joystick, here's some little spinners and things. So yeah, what's that little thing on the top left? So go back off and on switch. But yeah, what's that?
I don't know. I don't think I make it. Oh, that's for the buttons, the light up buttons. That's an off on for the light up buttons.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah.
what is that little toggle switch? They've gotten rid of the mic jack, right? So
Yeah, there was no point to that. I think that was put there with the intention of one, same as iArcade, providing the option if you want to use headphones, not to wake people up, you can do it. But I do think they had a grand scheme of online chat, and I think they've abandoned it at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe
The
they
only
can
one
do
they
it through
tried
their
to do
app
that was
instead.
NBA Jam, but it was too hard to implement, and they never actually ever used those speaker ports to enable that. Yeah.
No. One thing I will mention about the controller layout, anybody that's ever owned one of these Atari legacy cabs, I don't know what Centipede was like, but I can tell you with Tempest, I hated the position of the spinner. Like,
Way up
hated it.
top.
Yeah, because I'm I know arcade purists are going to kick me in the nuts for this, but I'm one of those arm on control panel guys. So, like, I hate trying to put my arm on the control panel to use the spinner and feeling the buttons underneath it. That's a really uncomfortable feeling. So, I wish with one of these Atari cabs, they could figure out a better placement for the spinner, because I don't want to reach over like that to use it.
You don't like reaching around to reach a spinner?
I've never been a reach around guy, B. I'm more,
Yeah.
I want to make eye contact.
There it is. Yeah. And then otherwise the only other option is to kind of like hold your hand up while you're playing, which isn't comfortable either. So yeah, it's a crowded 3 type of control, but hey, they fit a spinner, joystick, and a trackball all in one control panel that looks decent, right? It's not too like it looks almost functional, totally playable
That's
for whatever
right.
game they're playing. So
Yeah.
kudos to them.
I know, Renee Games Jr., what you're saying, but of those games, only Centipede, Millipede, Tempest, and is Super Breakout on it? I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's only 3 or 4 games that are actually vertical on this, even though they do have more vertical games. They're just not on it. $1.99 super chat from Console Fanboy. So should we get this or wait 3 months for the XL? I don't think what happened with the Pac-Man Deluxe is going to happen with anything else this year. Justin's interview, did he say there was another XL cab coming this year, or
Yeah, he said one XL coming this year, and if it's the Pac-Man one, then I guess that's
we're
it.
done. Yeah,
So,
that's it.
Yeah, it is interesting that because we were thinking that XLs might be more of the sports line of stuff, but yeah, this is their first classic game cabinet, and it looks good. But
oh yeah, I love
Yeah.
Pac-Man. I can't get it.
Sorry.
I might get it when I'm in Cleveland. I might take a trip to Costco and see if I can ship it back. I'm not going to lie.
Are you serious? That's part of your plan?
100%. Go to Costco, then go to UPS,
Yeah.
and be like, how much to ship to Newfoundland? And then when they tell me $700, I'm going to bring it back to Costco.
We'll just put it in the back of what's his face's truck. We can make that our mission. We can make that happen. That'll be another fun adventure.
John did say more XLs next year, Zohar says. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Is there anything else I want to talk about with this? In terms of height, I mean, it's the deluxe height, however tall this man is. Let's go down to weight and dimensions and see, because I got burned. It's only 61 height. That's surprising. Like going back to Big Buck Hunter was 68. So 61, just over 5 feet tall.
Yeah, it looks like probably their old style, which is literally without the riser. And so
yeah,
I think it's just the same height as their other one.
All right, let's check the poll really quickly, because I do want to switch up the poll before we go. So would you buy the Atari 50? And right now with 78 votes, we're at 76% saying no. So what I'm thinking about doing, I'm going to end that poll and let's ask a different question. Be the question a lot of people in chat wanted to ask, and I think a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and while you're doing that, Alan's Dags is offering to bring it back to Toronto and ship it to you. So you might have some extra support if you truly want it.
Yeah, there's a lot of options. I might get the Pac-Man
Mhm.
XL yet. We'll see.
Mhm.
And I appreciate that, Alan.
Yeah.
So yeah, here we go. We've got the new poll question up. Would you buy this if skin missile command? Shit, I meant to write in
Did you?
asteroids.
You meant to put.
Sorry, guys. I'm going to end that poll really quickly because I meant to write asteroids. I really thought this was going to be missile command this year. I'm
Yeah.
100% serious.
Yeah.
John D was trolling, putting pictures of missile command up on his Facebook. I was like, we're getting a missile command, 100%.
Yeah, I wonder if they use this shape design for anything else on the Atari side. I was looking, but I'm pretty confident that that's like 100% asteroids.
What
And then
about Centipede?
It doesn't look like the Centipede. Centipede one is a little bit more arched. Yeah, let me put the Centipede one.
I mean, it looks pretty much exactly like the asteroids cab.
Yeah. Yeah, Centipede shape is slightly different. I'll put that one up just so that we can see what last year's looked like. So yeah, that was the Centipede cabinet from last year. Definitely a different shape. Oh.
Yeah, Charlie Chuck says add in XL mic. I know, Charlie, you only want the XL cab, so I'm kind of with you on that, brother.
Yeah. Jolly Green saying it's the same as a Crystal Castles cabinet. Look it up.
Ooh, I love Crystal Castles. Crystal Castles is such a stupid fun game. Beautiful cabinet. I would love that.
All right, let's see what else we got. Oh no, Crystal Castles arcade cabinet looked a little bit different. So not the right shape. Would be a good game though. This is, what do you think about these?
Let's throw it up. I love
Would that
that.
be fun?
I think that's like it's right up there with like
Yeah.
what is it? Food Fight that
Uh-huh.
New Wave Toys just recently did. Like colorful, beautiful art, a nice
Yeah.
marquee. Like I think Crystal Castles, I think that is a winner in terms of art. I just don't think it has the mainstream appeal.
Yeah.
Like we got to remember this sometimes too. Like Arcade1Up, part of their problem isn't coming up with cool themes and stuff like that. It's going to the retailers and saying, "Hey, do you guys want to buy 10,000 Crystal Castles cabs?" And they're like, "The hell's Crystal Castles?"
Yeah.
But if you go to the retailer and you say, "Hey, do you want to buy this special anniversary Atari 50th cab?" They're like, "Oh yeah," because they're like 25 and 35-year-old kids, right? Working at Walmart. They don't have us grizzled veterans. So that's half the problem. Like it's not just collabs to do stuff with fun
retailers.
people. It's the retailers. Yeah.
This is my first time actually looking at this artwork, and yeah,
It's awesome,
I
isn't
dig
it?
it. Yeah, and that marquee at the bottom where the speaker panel is, that's really unique too, to have that kind of like shape of a cabinet. I don't think we'd ever see this, but it's cool. I would pick up a New Wave Toys version of this if they made one.
100% Crystal Castles. Have you ever watched King of Kongs? Have you ever watched King of Kong?
Yes, I have.
So do you remember when they were at Fun Spot, they met up with the guy with the world record for Crystal Castles?
Yeah.
Using his feet on the trackball.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Foot record. Can you imagine how grossed out P-Dubs would be having to watch that?
Yeah. We should recreate that scene in Cleveland just for P-Dubs and just play trackball games with your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun.
All right, man. Well, anyways, it's not a bummer. I think a lot of people will be happy with it. It's cool. Adds in the 40 Atari 2600 games. It's not my jam, but I don't know. People might like it. And here's the crazy thing. We're looking at the poll right now. We're only 3 minutes in with 46 votes, but 61% of people are still saying they would not buy it even if it was Asteroids themed.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah.
That is surprising. Yeah. or maybe just people are fatigued out of just new Arcade1Up products and are waiting for the next thing. I
Do you
mean,
think?
there's still a little bit more to come out at some point in this year, right?
Well, I'll throw a wrench in the works right now, or a negative thought out there. Remember when David McIntosh said unannounced '80s title?
Mm-hmm.
What if it's this? Imagine how upset the fans would be.
This is the unannounced 80s title. You didn't expect it. We're adding some Atari 2600 games that are
Totally
definitely from the
unannounced,
80s.
dude.
Totally from the 80s. This is your unique 80s cab for 2023, folks.
Yeah.
There it is. You made it into reality. But hey, another day you'll see this reskin as asteroids. I'm pretty sure.
I really hope so. But what's funny is the longer we leave the poll, the metrics aren't changing. We're still at that 61% of people are still saying no, they would not buy this.
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned the fatigue. There is some burnout. I mean, they've already bought how many Atari legacy cabs already, right?
Mm-hmm.
Centipede, Tempest. Some people still love the original 12-1. They don't want to move from that. They're like, nah, I'm good, man. I got my Atari cab.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at my Tempest right now, and it's, I mean, it looks great. I mean, when the first legacy cabs came out, that was the winner out of all of them. Shape design, the only thing it's missing is truly the Wi-Fi component of it. And so, if they redid a Tempest version with Wi-Fi, you know, I almost wanted to just get the PCB for one of these and put it in the Tempest cabinet because I like the shape of that cabinet so much. But yeah, other than that. Yeah, I think people, especially with these legacy cabinets, is it worth upgrading the next year? Especially people that just got the Centipede, right? There's not much as a third year to get really big upgrades for, but the new fans, the new folks that are getting into the hobby, they're getting some really good cabinets with these deluxe cabinets. So it was a good year to start if you were starting. Problem is, many of our audiences have not. They've been with us for 5 years, and it's been tough.
We're all grizzled war veterans by now. We've been through the dark days of Arcade1Up together, boys.
Dark days. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about this. Like, to me, I saw Biggie D said they should have leaked this before releasing it. And I wonder sometimes, like, do they have a test market? Like, do they have and I know the answer. I know they're smaller than this, but usually, like, they would have some kind of product review panel or something, especially if they're going to do something that's so off-brand like this, because this is off-brand, coming out with a cab that isn't arcade themed. Technically, I know they're not an arcade company. John D said that. They said we're a nostalgic company, so I don't think their goal is to make every cab a arcade recreation. But do you want to test this out, or was their test group a bunch of renders they did and sent out to the retailers, and the retailers were like, thumbs up, we'll buy a bunch, and that's all that really matters?
Yeah, I'm hoping that this is the way of this, that the collab and Atari really had input and wanted to see this in their headquarters office and just have a bunch of them lined up for other stuff and be part of their Atari 50th type of thing. It's better or worse, any press, any news, right, is good for a company. This will gather like, hey, this is ugly, this isn't whatever, like we're talking about in the Atari 50th cabinet. So for them, it's just branding, it's just marketing. That's all it is.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Graphics are Act Games-esque.
I mean, it's weird though, because I mean, Atari did hit their 50th anniversary, so I mean, like they are a gaming company as well. So I mean, like the Capcom legacy, the Midway legacy, like we didn't see like a Midway 30th that just said 30 all over it, right? So It was still nostalgic for whatever that cabinet was. It was MK 30th, if anything. So yeah, I am interested on why the Atari 50th big deal. And I think it's probably just adding more attention. Like I Googled Atari 50 and I saw the game pop up for the modern console. So maybe it's just a tie into that, get more sales for that thing that I think has like over 100 games on the Atari 50th game itself.
Alan Desjardins just said, someone said it earlier, Studio 54 vibes. So that means this is the cab you want to buy if you want to snort a line of coke and do a chick against it.
Is that how you say his name?
What?
Desjardins?
Alan, that's how I say it, but I might be wrong. I'm going by a hockey player with a similarly spelled last name. It might be, I would think it is Alan Degenet, but he can correct me if I'm wrong.
I just call him Dags. So I've had him on my show. He was the first guest on my The Next Level show, by the way. If you never, so he was guest number 1 for episode number 1. Was
Get
Alan
out of
Dags.
town, man.
Yeah, Dags is awesome. He created one of the first Star Wars cockpits in our community after the Retro Recipes guy. So good guy.
I'm just literally waiting for Alan to come back in and tell me if I'm saying his last name right now.
Daginus. I was like Daginus. Dags. Yeah, it's good stuff.
What says Mike is Canadian. He knows the French. I just watch hockey.
All right. Mike says it close. So there it is. You're close, man.
Ooh, that's good. I like being close. Yeah.
So are you excited for more future news from Arcade1Up? If they're coming out hot and heavy, like leaks in the last 2 weeks have been coming.
Yeah, this has been an exciting time. This has been a very hard to get excited year. Like a lot of people have said, like, "Oh, you guys aren't doing a lot of Arcade1Up videos," and I was like, "There's not a lot of news. There really isn't." So it's nice that we're in a period right now of some excitement, some news, some new products coming out. And it's normal, guys. Not everything's going to be exactly what you want. Like for me, this is a miss for me, but it's been a lot of positives, man. I really, really love that Pac-Man XL cab. Like that really tickled my fancy. But this is off-brand for me, but I think it's still going to have a pretty big audience. It might not be the core audience, but I think this is going to attract people outside of our group and maybe some more people that are just big Atari heads.
Yeah, well, the leaks are coming in fast and furious for the last couple of weeks, and I just say stay tuned. I'm sure the rest of this month we'll still have some more things to come out. Yeah.
So, B, where are you going next week?
I'm gonna Evo, man. I'll be there.
Evo.
Yeah,
that's weird. It's almost like Arcade1Up does stuff at Evo, like announce a cab. So do you think we'll see anything next week when you're at Evo with Arcade1Up?
I bought my own ticket and hotel room to hang out and check out what's happening at Evo. I did. Like, so we will see what's going to happen at Evo. So stay tuned. I'm sure there'll be something there. Justin Wong, who happens to be like an Evo legend, also works for Arcade1Up. So it's a perfect time to get him to be doing something for the company. And so the biggest thing that we haven't seen this year, is the Capcom Legacy. So that's kind of like the idea that might be coming. So who knows? We will see what's happening pretty soon.
Is he any good at Capcom versus SNK?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's really good at that one. Oh man, that'd be really cool, huh?
We'll see. But if anything, it's all the legacies and the deluxe lines have just been kind of releases of the same game list. So I'm thinking potential new form factor. We'll see what it is.
You know what I hope it is, because I don't know. I don't actually know on this one. I hope that they actually went back and did the cool toy Street Fighter 2. Remember they did for the original Capcom Legacy? I love that cab. They made a better version of that.
Not Champion Edition, the regular Street Fighter 2 World Warrior Edition, that one.
Yeah. Oh, I love that cab. I love that cab so much. I would love to see them do that, but my guess is probably not that. Too bad.
Yeah. Fun. So we'll see you at Evo next week.
Maybe it is time to go to bed. We're about 45 minutes talking about this stupid cat.
I don't know how you got there. All right, end the poll. Let's wrap it up.
Jeez, man, you invite a guy to come on your show. He tells you what to do. Won't tell you about the secret reveal that's happening at Evo. Wow. 59% won with no. Even if this was Centipede, asteroids, people are saying they still wouldn't buy it. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm shocked. So I guess it didn't really matter. Arcade1Up could have put anything on the side of this. They could have put John D.
I think
on the side
seeing is believing. I think people would rather see it, and then afterwards they're like, oh yeah, that artwork did look nice for this asteroids. I mean, it's a nice looking cap as an asteroids. Put this back up, the asteroids one. For people that just joined the stream, what we did was we compared this to the New Wave Toys version of asteroids. Look at that. That's a nice looking cabinet. So if you didn't get a Atari Legacy cabinet, this would be a really nice one to get. So just putting it out there.
I love the look of that. I do.
People need to see it to believe it.
B, our buddy Kerry Hardy's here. WTF are you guys doing up? Quick,
We're
switch to
talking
pinball. Switch
Here we
to
go.
pinball.
Here we go. Let's talk about some pinball tables, right? Because that's what they're called in the pinball world.
Yeah, pinball machines. I've got
Tables. No,
death threats. Nice to see you, Kerry, man. I was watching your Venom video earlier. So P-Dubs brought it up on Super Game Room Dudes earlier, how he's kind of having like weird feelings now about Venom because this is the first third table he's bought. But now he's seeing all these reports of people saying like, oh, well, Venom's not good. Venom's not good. So, he's feeling kind of weird about it. I think it's a completely different style pinball table than a lot of us play. Like you mentioned, it's a fan style game, but I think the big thing that you nailed it on is just price fatigue. Like everybody's just upset about the higher prices, and maybe this is why they're not doing it. Venom doesn't really offer in their mind a lot for the price they're paying. So, and
yeah,
yeah,
I
good point.
played it a lot. So I think it is one of those games you have to play it to
Yeah.
enjoy it versus kind of looking at it and being excited about the theme if you're not a fan of Venom and if you're not a fan of the way it looks. The playing it, all the games that Stern have been putting out, they're fun to play. And you really have to play it to understand how quick the balls launch out from the locks. Because the first time that happened to me, I was like, holy shit, what happened? And then like, oh, I get it now. And there's this repeated loop shot that you just have to pay attention. It keeps you on your toes. So it's definitely a pin to play. But the owning side of it, I think, to your point, the price point has been going up for the last couple of years. But it's really just hitting a point where if it's not something that's tugging on your heartstrings for a theme, and the playfield doesn't grab you immediately as something
100%,
unique that you're looking at, then it's not worth that investment. So yeah, I think a lot of people bought Foo as well. All the Stern folks that were waiting for something kind of new and exciting, Foo was the pin to get this year. It was new, unique, great layout. So I think getting multiple ones back to back is tough.
Yeah, you're full of shit. The pin to get this past year was Galactic Tank Force. You know that.
GTF, man. GTF. Oh, it's a terrible looking game in person. I played it a lot, and it's literally 3D printed parts. So I don't know who's paying $10,000 for 3D printed parts.
Anyways, guys, we won't keep you any longer. It's super late. I got to get up and take my daughter to swimming in the morning. I should not be up right now, but I couldn't not talk about this. It's I've been sitting on this for the last couple days, and like I could not wait for somebody to accidentally leak out. Could not wait for somebody to accidentally leak it so I can finally talk
your
about
time
it.
right now? Like 2
Oh
a.m.?
no, we're way past that. It's 3:18.
It's 3:18 a.m. for Mr. Mike, and for folks on the East Coast, I apologize. It's still bright and early on the West Coast. So yeah.
All right, B. God bless you. Thank you for making yourself available. Everybody have a wonderful night. Let's wait before we start throwing our pitchforks and torches up about this cabinet. Let's wait till we get the official announcement. If it's a collab, cool. Maybe they're still going to do some kind of other Atari skin on this. If not, pitchforks at the ready, people. Anyways, have a good night, everybody. And for the big Atari fans, 40 2600 games. That's like 40 ColecoVision games on iArcade.
Not one, not two, not five, but 40
games. The value. If Nostalgia was here, his head would literally explode like in the movie Scanners from the value this cab brings to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, guys. You're all wonderful. We'll see you on the next one. Got to get my graphics up. I should know how to do this by now. Love you, B.